Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, Madam Vice Chair, I guess, or whatever. So thank you. 3684 is a transformational investment in our transportation infrastructure and also in our water, drinking water and wastewater infrastructure. And it also, 3684, would be the single largest contributor to the President's plan to reduce the impacts of climate change, since transportation is the largest single source of carbon pollution in the United States. Now, we could just keep doing what we've been doing, but it's failing the country. We're underinvesting. We've dropped from the 60s and 70s, number one in the world with infrastructure, to number 13 and headed down. The Chinese invest 6% of their GDP in infrastructure. We put in 0.5%. The federal government has been absent from partnership for decades. We last raised the federal gas tax in 1993, and we've been pretty much doing status quo with funding and also status quo with policy. We built 35,000 lane miles in our 100 largest cities in the last 25 years. That's an incredible amount of pavement in our 100 largest cities. And guess what? Congestion is 6 times worse after 25 years. It's trying to try something different. A new era in terms of how we move people and goods in this country. Major investments with very strong Buy America provisions, using materials from our own backyard. It also would restore our global competitiveness. As I said earlier, we used to be the envy of the world. Now we're becoming a laughingstock. Have we become so puny that we can't make these changes and these investments? I hope not. There's been attempts to say during the Trump administration, the only plan they came up with was to send the responsibility to the 50 states. We tried that before the Eisenhower era. I have a great poster. It's beautiful new highway in Kansas, and it ends in a farmer's field, which is the state line of Oklahoma, because they said, oh, we were going to build it, but we can't, we don't have the money, until the Eisenhower bill passed. And then we created a system that joined the country in ways never before envisioned. It was actually written and designed for the existential threat of the time, which was an invasion by Russia to move our military to the coasts, or nuclear war to evacuate people from the cities. We have a new existential threat. It's climate change. We have to deal with it. The Northwest today is experiencing temperatures 30 to 40 degrees above normal. Canada, Northwest Canada, recorded the highest temperature in the history of Canada, day after day. We're in extreme drought. Climate change is real. Now, I've had trouble convincing my colleagues on the committee that it's real. So instead, I held a hearing on the business case for investing in defossilizing transportation. I had Fred Smith from FedEx come in. No shrinking lefty violet, Fred. And he said, I'm going all electric, including semis, but there's no place to charge them. GM's going all electric. There's no place to charge them. We can either lag behind the world and see yet another evolution in our country of technology, and in this case, transportation, to China and other places, or we can be in the forefront. So, we don't have to match China dollar for dollar, but we really have to step up. Americans are tired of potholes and the expensive repairs. Americans are tired of congestion. I mentioned the cost of congestion. It's not just for people delayed on the way to work. Every time a delivery truck, a semi, whatever is sitting in traffic, it's very expensive. FedEx has quantified what the costs are of congestion, as have other companies, and they are astronomical. They exceed on an annual basis the amount of money the United States government is investing in transportation. It's time to change this. This is an American problem, and we can fix it. This bill would invest in transit in a major way. It would invest in rebuilding our roads, bridges, highways, and prioritize fix it first. because we have 47,000 bridges that need repair or replacement. It would fund a robust intercity passenger rail network to give people new alternatives. There are a lot of people around the country don't really have access to airports. They don't have access to much else. But we could get them rail service. So I'm hopeful. We had 2 Republican votes coming out of committee. I hope we get a few more on the floor. Our numbers in this bill are very close to the bipartisan deal negotiated in the Senate, very close. So that is something that could easily be bargained in conference. But of course, their bipartisan deal lacks policy. Our bill has the policy we need to move into the 21st century. This would create a lot of jobs, deal with climate change, and vaunt the U.S. Back to a point of international competitiveness, and we would be rewarding people for work, not wealth. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chairman DeFazio. I will now recognize the gentleman from Oregon.